by a random college student, and then, he was his pants over this interaction. This is a great example of the whole God perspective, and I'm going to talk about this really briefly before we move on. Okay, Hasanabi head, is he? I don't know. Leftist Ludwig debating Matt Walsh. I think he did a very good job. Let's take a look at this interaction that took place.
In fact, there is the ultimate well-being for a human being is to live in the truth with a deep recognition of truth. And that
we've never seen anybody walk on water, but there are so many stories of people who have been changed by by God. They've seen the light of God. And so we sort of turn a blind eye to science, right? We're going to need science because it's for our benefit.
We're gonna let someone else ask a few questions.
Sounds like they're kind of scared of the answer.
Before you walk away, though, hey, wait a minute.
They're talking about trans existence and biology. Now, of course, you ask actual scientists on the matter. Most scientists recognize that gender is social conditioning, socially conditioned, learned behavior, and removed, even if it could be tied back to sex, biology, your biological gender, whatever these guys have adopted to make themselves seem like they're speaking in scientific terms. Okay? The reality is that, even biology is not as binary and as rigid as the way that these charlatans describe it. But one thing that the Republicans have done, these right-wing nut jobs have done very well and very effectively over the course of the past couple of years, especially so, is basically re-propagandize their positions, not as like pure religious nonsense, but instead one coming from like this moral perspective or this logical perspective or this perspective rooted in science.
What is a woman is a person who aligns with feminine traits that we traditionally associate with females.
And crowd goes crazy when he says, "What is a woman? Can you tell me that?" And then the crowd starts booing him as soon as he's like, "Well, this is what I think a woman is."
Or that people that align with the feminine side of the spectrum. So that's my answer. But I just want to make clear that you
I can't
told
hear
me to
I
leave
can't,
as soon as I brought up a point that you didn't want to respond to. So
I couldn't hear what you say your last comment.
I was just saying I want to point out that you asked me to leave as soon as I brought up something you didn't want to respond to. So
what did I want to respond to?
I mentioned religion being a source of where we deny or look past science for the greater sense of humanity. And you asked me to leave.
I did respond to that. Okay. I responded to that quite directly. So
I'm sorry I can't hear you.
All right.
I responded to that quite succinctly. No, you didn't.
Thank you for your question.
Next question. So, I still can't hear you.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up. Anyway, he did not respond quite correctly. Maybe there were some audio issues. I would love to hear what Matt Walsh has to say about that. Ultimately, Matt Walsh is a theocratic fascist. So here's the thing. Okay? Even if he didn't hear him, it's kind of funny that like his immediate counter is, what is a woman? Like, that's like a slam dunk in that fucking room. And he's right. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? Like, everyone is so fucking stupid in that room and so geared towards transphobia that like the slam dunk there is like, what is a woman? Everyone goes, ah. In a room of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I fucking love that phrase. Yeah, it's just how it is. Okay, but can you explain what a woman is? Yeah, I can. Hunter Schafer is a woman, okay? Matt Walsh claims that she's not. There you go. Conversation fucking over, okay? Like, that's it. That's it. Like, Matt Walsh would literally look to a person like this, okay, in a room where this woman is, okay? Matt Walsh would point to her and go, "Hey, can you get my bag from that man over there?" And not a single person would understand what Matt Walsh is saying. You want to know why? Because gender is social. It's an expression. Hunter Schafer is a woman. Hunter Schafer happens to be a trans woman. Matt Walsh wants to act like she is not a woman. Matt Walsh thinks that he could communicate with people Matt Walsh thinks that he can communicate with normal human beings and you know, have a normal conversation where he says this person is not a woman, and no one would understand what the fuck Matt Walsh is saying in that regard. Now, this is simply the starting point of this conversation. Okay, the rest of it's a starting point of the conversation specifically to help you understand that gender is, you know, socially learned behavior. Yeah, Matt Walsh would look at this person, this man, okay, and say, that's a woman. Before we get into NBs and before we get into like passing as like an importance or whatever, my point is, it opens the door up for a lot of people to truly understand, a lot of transphobic people to truly understand, like, wait a minute, hold up. Yeah, I guess it is true. Like, you would never point to this person and go, no, I want to make sure this man pees in the same fucking bathroom with my child, okay? Why the fuck would you want that? Do you want him to pee in the women's restroom? Do you think that that is fine and normal and good? Do you think that Matt Walsh would point to him if he didn't know that he was a trans man? Do you think Matt Walsh would point to him and go, hey, can you get my bag from near that woman right there, and point to Buck? No, of course not. Because gender is not defined on the boundaries that Matt Walsh and others try to define gender as.